I'm Aaron Choate with AustinEV, the Austin Area Electric Auto Association. This is video that was recorded during a live Q&A hosted by myself and the leaders of the Austin and San Antonio chapters of the Tesla Owners Club. While this is not heavily edited, we have removed a bit of my technology fumbling. I started by talking a bit about my own interests in driving electric, my efforts in building my own project cars over the years, and then my immediate admiration for the cars Tesla started to build. It took a while, but I knew I wanted to drive a Tesla. That eventually led to Kara, my wife, standing in line at the domain early in the morning so that we could be a day one Model 3 reservation holder.
But when they started talking about the Model Y, we decided to hold on and defer our purchase until then. And part of the reason for that is the back. So the Model 3 obviously doesn't have the fold down seats, or it does have the fold down seats, sorry, it doesn't have the hatch. And we need a hatch because we have dogs, and you'll notice we have the dog covering in there. But that was our big deal. The touchless delivery was fairly seamless I was actually expecting like a truck or something to drive up, but they drove it down from the service center, the one guy. And then he took Uber home, and that was it. You know, it was pretty much either I could choose to talk to him or not. And that was really, those were the decision points as far as that was concerned. And if I had chosen not to talk to him, then I would need to do a remote essentially acceptance of the vehicle, saying that everything was okay. But because I did decide to go ahead and talk with him, I was able to sign off on the car with him there. It is a bit bigger than the 3, and we do have some photos with the 3 and the Y right next to each other. Like you were saying, the X and the Y are about, I don't know, a little, I think that the Y is a little shorter than the X, and it's definitely thinner. And I think that's where the big difference is I think the Y and the 3 are very similar in width, and that accounts for a lot of the size difference. So, I feel like the majority of the people that would come to a presentation like this probably have seen a bazillion walkthroughs of a Y on YouTube. So I hesitate to do a in-depth, showing of the.
Maybe we can just ask questions that we're curious about.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
Aaron,
so
you're probably
you
totally
guys
right.
go ahead and ask.
I've personally seen about 40 reviews online, so maybe you're right. I'm sure others are in the same boat. I'll start it off with a question that I'm really curious about. They keep talking about this heat pump. I saw a video that Sean Mitchell did, and I don't know if we can really test this out because I feel like it really is fully operational when it's super cold. But the heat pump seems super loud in one of his videos. He lives in Denver. Are you experiencing he had a video where he put up his camera right next to the front driver's side wheel, and the heat pump seemed like it was like really, really loud to where you could easily hear it. So it's kind of strange for an EV to be making that amount of noise. What's been your experience with the heat pump?
If you look at Monroe's, he did a segment where he showed what was going on with the heat pump, and part of that is that it's not sound absorbent covered. They didn't put the cover that's on the 3 on the Y in this version anyway. And yeah, it's loud on the outside. It's not gonna. It's clear. It's not ramped up now. It does ramp up if you need to charge. And unfortunately, I already charged today, so it's kind of sitting idle right now. But yeah, it can get loud. However, I've heard louder electric steering pump racks before, so I'm not sure. Compared to a completely silent vehicle that's not moving, yeah, it's loud. But compared to like a Dodge Charger, it's pretty damn quiet.
You guys can just unmute yourselves and ask other questions if you guys want to jump in. I think this would be more fun if other people ask questions and stuff.
Yeah, my wife wants to know how many people it seats.
This model, the version I have, it's a 5-seater. So I'll open the other side so you can see through there. But yeah, it's just the 2 front and the 3 across the rear. They have a 7-seat model that they think that they're going to release, which means that at some point they're going to have 2 more seats back here somewhere. A lot of people are postulating that that's why this is so deep, that would end up eventually being essentially the feet or the foot location for the rear seat.
There is a lot of controversy with that, guys. I was there a year ago at the unveil, so I've sat in the prototype Model Y.
Yeah, and those were 7-seat
models, in the back.
Right?
That was a 7-seat model. I mean, I couldn't put a small child in the back of the ones I saw a year ago, okay? And they were front-facing. The reason that this became a controversy the last few months is Monroe, who is doing that's the famous guy in the automotive industry that's been tearing apart the Model Y. He basically was tearing apart the Model Y without knowing anything about, he didn't go to the unveil. He knows nothing about the car. He just came from it with a very clean perspective. So he was like, oh, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a rear facing, like kind of like what they had in the original Model S. But the one I was in, and Tesla has never said anything about them doing a rear facing. So now it's been this, like, people are like, wait, is Monroe right? Did Tesla change their mind?
You have the trailer hitch?
From what I may be able to answer the trailer hitch question. From what I understand, none of the ones that have been sold to this point have the trailer hitch. That was something they're going to be adding in very soon. But from what I understand, nothing. The only way you'd have it right now is if you actually do one aftermarket. That's why I understand it, Gene.
There's a question. If you guys want to put your questions on the group chat, I can go ahead and read them out if it's easier. Aaron, the one question that somebody had is comparing the X. Comparing it to the X, does the Y get more miles to charge because it's a slimmer size?
I can tell you on it's supposed to charge faster because it's using the 2170 cell compared to 1865. I don't know if I don't know if he said his is a performance or not.
It's the software performance upgrade.
The other question that's really important, Ed asked, how does the drive compare to Model 3? I don't know if you've got experience with the Model 3, but between Model Y and Model 3, if you can speak to that.
I don't know. I drove a Model 3 a long time ago, and I would say it's very similar, but I would think a little more refined.
Glenn had a question about how is the rear visibility for the driver?
Okay, that is an issue. So let's see.
Go ahead and close the hatch. So
I think honestly, yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. So here's the mirror, and here's the position I'm in. No, here.
Yeah, that seems really small.
You see that white back there? That is that's the view for the driver, and that is about half the mirror if you're looking at the rearview mirror. And I have found that to be an issue. Although when I was driving down to Houston, I found that when I really needed it, I could activate the rear camera, which was nice. And as I said before, we have 2 dogs, so sometimes they were blocking everything, and having the rear view camera was really nice, being able to deal with that.
Michael, do you want to read off the other questions as they come through? I don't know if you're seeing the...
Yep, I'm watching the stats too. So let me just see if we missed anybody higher up the list first. Just double checking. Aaron, the mirrors do rotate in and out. That they fold in, right? That was one of the questions.
They fold automatically. Yeah.
I figured they did, but just wanted to make sure I didn't not hear that. Yeah. What is your stated range on yours? Yours is the long range. It's considered
315.
315. Okay. And I think Andrea asked about the X versus the Y, more miles. So 315 for that one. I think a current long range X is like 328 or something like that. So they're fairly close. But remember, the battery size on the Y is going to be smaller, just because it's a smaller form factor.
I know the things that I've been watching online, and Elon talked to this directly on what's that podcast? The Third Row. I think he went on there with Sandy Monroe. He basically was saying a Model Y in essence is a 10% or something bigger car, right? So you would expect 10% less efficiency when you come to using the batteries and all that and getting in range. He said they basically were able to make Model Y comparable to Model 3 because of the heat pump. Where before, the way Model Y's heating infrastructure works is you'd spend a lot more energy trying to keep the batteries cool or heat it up and take care of the ambient temperature inside the vehicle. Heat pump basically what goes around that. It makes the car like 10-15% more efficient. So it kind of like balanced out. Although, so Model Y is in essence like almost exactly the same thing as a Model 3 when it comes to range and efficiency. But it's because of this new tech, which is the heat pump. That's how I'm understanding it.
So the battery is the same size, 75 kilowatt hour. Yeah.
I think so.
Aaron, what on your long range car, when you charge to 90%, what's the mile reading on that? Because you said 315 was the 100%. When you do 90%,
like 280 or something like that. Yeah.
280. Okay. What did you, I guess my question, yeah, this is like one of the first phase of Model Ys that went out. What's your interpretation of the fit and finish? What did you think?
Well, I've seen a lot worse. So I've been following the 3 rollout. I've been following the Roadster. So this has been, this was a pleasant surprise when this rolled up, frankly. And I'm not a panel gap measurer, but you can see some inconsistencies here. You know, you can see the rear tail light here going a little bit odd. And, you know, if I were a little more persnickety, I'd probably have said something about it, but I'm not. So I'm happy.
Paint quality?
Paint quality looks good. Now I took this to Brian Daly pretty much as soon as I could. So it's got the film front and ceramic back, and the front windows don't come tinted, they come clear. So he added tint to that for me.
Is that the only thing you tinted yourself aftermarket was the front passenger and driver side? Everything else I'm assuming was tinted?
The windshield as well. I think the windshield is clear too. I think the windshield is also tinted.
Can you show us the wheels real quick? I'm interested in the...
So these are the stock hubcaps, yeah.
Oh, they're hubcaps, like on the Model 3?
Yeah.
Like the Aero wheels?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to put you guys down for a second. I'll pull off one of the hubcaps so you can see what it looks like with the...
Okay.
It actually looks fairly nice without the hubcap on it, so...
Glad they made them a light color.
Yeah, I like the look of it too. I think it looks really clean.
So that looks pretty nice. And then you could put so Brian had actually some inserts that go in here, like the black here and then a black center, which kind of look nice with that wheel.
I think it looks better without the hubcap.
I do too.
I agree.
And
I agree.
I have the hubcaps on there right now is because I went on the road trip and I wanted to get the full range of the car.
Aaron, what's the differential you think on having the Aero wheel covers versus not?
Don't know. Haven't tried it yet. I plan to though. I knew I needed to make the trip, so I went for the thing I assumed would definitely have the longer range. So.
Anwar, do you have any data on what that might be? I mean, obviously they created the Aero wheel covers for a reason, to obviously extend the range as much as possible, but I'm curious as to what that differential would be without the wheel covers.
It's probably something along the lines of 5 to 10%. I'm assuming similar to what they've seen in other cars. Aaron, there's another question regarding range and those Aero wheels.
Yeah.
I believe on the model, Michael, do you know this? On the Model 3, how much the Aero wheels, the hubcaps make a difference? I believe it's anywhere from 5 to 10%. It's significant.
I've heard similar numbers, but I don't know. I haven't tested it myself.
according to, I'll just give you guys a little bit of background. I've been watching the Sandy Munro teardown. It's been super interesting. If you guys are interested, go to YouTube and type in Munro Live.
Yeah, Munro Live.
MUNRO Live. The super interesting thing is it's already been several weeks, but Munro starts out giving like an overview, just like what Aaron is doing. But then piece by piece, this dude rips everything apart. And it's just like, as a Tesla geek, it's really interesting to see it from that perspective, what things look like internally, and having an automotive expert just point to things and say, this is what this is, fit and finish and all that. It's a really good, if you're bored and have like, I mean, I'm actually going to go through all the videos just because I want to learn about it. But I think it's really interesting that they did that with the Model 3. And basically, his biggest takeaway is if on a scale of fit and finish and what he's seeing between the Model 3 and Model Y, even though Model Y is using about 75 of the exact same components, even when he's going underneath the car, some of the parts say Model 3 on them. So they're literally just copy pasting same exact materials. But I think the way they put the car together, and two of the biggest differences that Elon and Sandy Munro discussed back and forth on the Third Row podcast. Now, the biggest difference technology-wise is the heat pump, of course, because it helps with like the 15-20% range to where it puts the Model Y on par with Model 3. But the other thing is something that Elon said is not going to be appreciated because we can't see it. But the back third of the car, where before Model 3, apparently, Sandy really didn't like when he tore up the Model 3. He said it's almost like, you know, when you're putting a bunch of Lego pieces together, it seemed like they were welding and just had a lot of disparate parts to make up the back third of the car. Where now what they're doing is it's a single cast. Elon said something, it's like a 15,000 pound. It's like one of the biggest casting machines in the world, and they've got two of them. So they're making the back third of the car. It's one single piece, aluminum piece that gets cast. So the rigidity, structural integrity of the car for Model Y, yeah, that's the hitch area. It seems like there's a huge difference. Even though they're using 3/4 of the same materials, the way they put it together, according to Sandy Munro, this isn't coming from like a Tesla fanboy. Sandy, who is very, very like actually was critical of the way Model Y or 3 was put together, had nothing but good things to say about the Model Y, which makes me, as an investor in the company, as a fan of Tesla, I was really happy to hear his analysis of it so far. Of course, there were critical things that he had as well. And Aaron,
sorry,
I'm assuming—
I missed the question about the bottle space. What was that?
Oh, about the what?
The bottle space in chat. There's a question about bottle space.
Oh.
This is great, yeah.
See that.
Was that useful?
Is it same as Model 3? Oh, you're not a Model 3 owner. It seems like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, we just waited.
Back.
I don't know who. I just saw it pop up, so I wanted to.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Are there any bottle holder space in the Model Y like that we have in the X and Y? I missed this in my S while I had it in the X. It seems like the bottle space is almost exactly the same as Model 3, if you guys are used to that. Nothing significantly different. Model S definitely had some issues with storage space when it came to bottles and different things.
Oh, there's a second storage area up here.
Aaron, are you gonna get the trailer hitch? I think they said the people that bought it that didn't get that option could get it afterwards, right?
I have not asked, but I assume that at some point I'll be able to do an aftermarket install. Not even after. I guess aftermarket, but factory install. I sure hope so because I really wanted one.
The other question that we just got is, do the rear doors have an emergency door release unlike Model 3?
So they do, but if you look at the Munro teardown, it's not an emergency release as far as I'm concerned. You have to get up underneath this mat.
Yeah, you have to kind of tear it apart a little bit.
Actually, let me see if I can pull it. So if you pull this out, you can see that little access panel right in there.
It's hard for us to see, but
and then you can pull it. So no, not really.
And you need a flat head. Like if you're stuck in the back, you really can't. I don't think you can pry it open with your hand. Monroe was actually one of the things that he was recommending is that rear hatch release. He was saying, or the rear door release. He's saying it should be much more easier to access. Because he did it on one of the teardowns, but he took a flathead and kind of had to pop something out first, and then he went inside of this hole, and he was able to like have a little latch that he pulled on. So Monroe was recommending that Tesla change that and make it a little bit easier to access.
Yeah.
We had another good question about the audio quality compared with other models. I'm assuming it's talking about the like stereo, like listening to music and all that, or also maybe like road noise and different things. How's that been, Aaron?
So I heard the road noise in an early 3, and this is quieter than that. I did not really listen to the entertainment system in the 3, so I can't compare it. I'd say it's okay. I mean, it's not amazing. It's not gonna vibrate you out of your chair. So I don't know.
One other question I asked Aaron, did you get home link?
No, here's my home link. My $15 garage door opener is sitting in here.
That works. A whole lot cheaper, $300 or whatever, right?
It's like $450 upgrade or something like that. It's like, okay, no.
Yeah, it's $300. I have HomeLink in the Roadster, so I was really disappointed that it's not included as a standard feature in the Y. So
yeah. I kind of feel like they've had so many issues with it. That's part of the reason why they kind of separated it out as a separate piece of hardware that you purchased.
From what I heard, that a lot of people weren't using it, so it was extra $300 thrown into cars people weren't using. It's still in the 3 and they're still in the X and the S though.
Yeah.
We had another question by my friend Jim Freeze. He said, "Is the road noise better than a X, like Model X?"
I've never been in an X. Sorry.
I'm assuming, like, I recently sold my X. X actually had quite a bit of road noise, but I can compare the X to Model 3. I went from an X to a standard range Model 3, and there's definitely more road noise. But I guess you would expect that because it's like much cheaper vehicle. X is like a little bit more premium. I'm assuming they spent some more time with insulation and things of that nature. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw like the email that Jim sent out. I saw Jim was on here. But Jim is one of these guys that like has like tech background. Go check out his website he's been working on. It's a really cool idea. Tesla car lot. He built this. We can talk about it a little bit later, or maybe Jim can jump on here and share a little bit once we're done looking at Model Y. But it's a really neat idea, kind of like buying and selling used Teslas. Jim, if you have time, maybe you can jump in a little bit later and share with us once we're done looking at Model Y. Maybe you can get some feedback from Tesla Owners Club people, kind of help you out with the idea and then see what they think and spread the word.
Another question was the trunk open and close from the key fob. I understand that you don't have a key fob, right? You just have the key, then you'd use the app on the phone to open the trunk or the frunk?
Yes. If you have a fob, you can open it and close it from the fob. It does not come with a fob. You can buy it as an aftermarket option, but it does open with the app and also from inside the car.
Another one, since you're right there, asking for a close-up of the front, so you're in the right spot to do it. So perfect timing. That was a question from Chris Summers. Did you have any questions regarding the frunk on that, or just want to look at the depth or what it's made out of or something?
Yeah, if Aaron could describe it, he'll pop to the big screen so I can see.
Yeah, just keep talking.
Oh, right. Here's the frunk, and it is deep, and it is in the front of the car. There you go. Do you need dimensions?
Can you point up? I heard the hood, the trunk area has like more of an insulation that Model 3 didn't.
Yeah, so the Model 3, they have this gasket here, and then it has a gasket on the hood that tries to seal this area from water infiltration.
Does it have a drain area? I thought I heard some rumors that you could put beers and ice in there. Or no?
Area.
Like, you know what I mean? You can use it almost like a cooler.
In here?
No? Yeah.
No, I'm not seeing Maybe it doesn't have a drain area, and that's why people were excited about it. I'm not seeing any holes.
I'll cover this real quick. I think somebody had asked a question. DP iPad Mini said, do you hear the heat pump? Supposedly Tesla will create a cover to make it quieter. We did cover that earlier in the call. Aaron was saying there is somewhat of a noise from the heat pump, and I think Tesla is definitely going to be putting some sort of more insulation to make that process a little bit quieter.
Yeah, Monroe followed up his video saying that he had been in contact with them and that they had said they were going to put the same sound absorbing wrap around it. I want to say you can't really hear it in the car. It's if you're standing outside the car, you can hear it pretty loud, but if you're in the car, it's not a problem at all.
We had another question from Matt. He said, not sure if you've driven much at night. Do you notice not having auto dimming mirrors on the Model Y? Or does it have auto dimming, the side view mirrors?
It does not have auto dimming. I haven't really noticed it. No, I haven't noticed a problem with it.
We had a good question from Ram Kumar here. It's actually something my wife is super interested in as well. Hope it doesn't have auto present open like Model X, maybe same as S and 3. The reason Model Y is a perfect car for my wife is all the things she hates about Model X they don't have, which is the Falcon Wing door she's not a fan of because it draws too much attention. And then the auto presenting thing can be a little bit like an issue. You know, like anybody that's owned a Model X, sometimes like when it opens or auto presents without you intending it, it can be kind of like a tedious, it's a cool feature, kind of like a little wow factor, but it can get somewhat annoying. And the Falcon Wing doors in a garage just don't mix. Like I'm a fanboy, but that's one thing that I'm like, no matter, you have to have a massive garage for the Falcon Wing doors to make any sense, I feel like. Like in a typical American garage, you really don't get a lot of coverage for the Model X doors to open all the way. I was never able. Aaron, looks like you got a massive garage compared to most people, but I don't know if
it's just
Model
a two-car garage built tall.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I'll show. I guess I was doing it silently, so I wasn't highlighted. So this is the handle. So it's all manual. It's no auto present at all, and it's matte.
How's the quality? How's the quality on the matte? Like if you finish wise, like on the trim as well as the handles and stuff.
There you go.
Because this is manufactured.
Looks good to me.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth. I'm not seeing any kinds of dings or discolorations other than things I've already done to it, which are my fault.
By the way, that gray color, in my opinion, is like one of the best looking colors because of the chrome delete. I think it looks super nice. And the blue is another one that
pretty
I've seen.
Stoked by it when it showed up. I wasn't sure, but then when it showed up, I was pretty happy. And you're right. From the unveiling and all that kind of stuff, this ended up being a far more, I don't know. It looks nicer than I expected it to as a car, frankly. I have some insider information. I've talked to Tesla engineers that worked on the design of the Y. It's actually quite a bit different than what they showed us last year at the unveil. Okay, when I saw it in person, I was shocked because I remember what it looked like when I saw it. It looked like a little bit of a fatter Model 3, but just Model 3 in design-wise. But they changed it quite a bit, like the slight lines and different things they changed. But by the end of it, I think it ended up being enough of a change where it actually looks significantly better than what I saw at the unveil last year. Yeah. And from the rear, I really don't think you can tell it apart from Model X. It looks almost, because I saw my wife and I pulled up right behind a Model Y, and I thought it was an X until I got like right up next to it. The silhouette from the back, it looks almost exactly the same. So it's a massive car. I think it's almost like, it looked like it was like 95% of the Model X silhouette. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. 86 inches wide, something 83 maybe. Anyway, it fits with about 4 inches on my garage doors.
And did you, Aaron, did you guys trade in a car, or what did you guys do? Or was this like a new purchase?
Yeah, this is a new purchase. We've been driving a Mazda 3 as our sole vehicle. I commute to work and I'd been using that as my car. So that's a zero electric motorcycle. So yeah, this is it. This is a whole step higher in the kind of the pantheon of cars for me.
Aaron, can you go back to the back again? One of the things, how tall are you in feet and inches?
6'2".
6'2". One of the complaints I saw in some of them, not really complaints, but something just to be aware of, is the height of the door. So is it over your head? One guy was like 6'6", something like that, and it was like hitting him almost like in the forehead. Is it the same for you?
Right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
Pretty close. So you still want to watch your head so you don't end up having a scar on your head or a mark.
Yeah, and it's pretty much so that, and then if you go over here, this kind of dips down a little bit on you. So yeah, you do need to make sure you don't bonk your head.
Wear a hard hat.
Does it have an auto close button on the back of the trunk?
Yeah, it's right there.
Does it also have the door opening feature like on the 3 on the driver's side frame, like where you have to wave your wallet?
Oh, for the card in the B.
Yeah,
yeah. If you have a card, you have to hold it here. But I can stand here with my phone like in my pocket and still open the car. So I'm using the phone key, but if you're using the card key, you need to put it here.
The valet key.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
So is that standard or is that valet key optional?
They give you 2 valet keys with it. They expect that you as drivers will go ahead and use your phone keys, because it automatically, like I have my phone in my pocket, I walk up and well, I don't now obviously, but then I do this, I get in the car, and it's already activated by the time I've pulled the door handle.
So on your phone, do you have to have the Wi-Fi always enabled on your phone, or is it just a Bluetooth link to your phone that links to the car?
It's a Bluetooth LE connection, so you don't have to have Wi-Fi for that. I have it hooked up to Wi-Fi to download the software upgrades and those kinds of things.
We had another one, Aaron. So as you're getting into the vehicle, do you have to like sit down into the car, like you get into like a Model S or a Model 3, and you have to like kind of get down to the ground, or like Chris's model, his Roadster, you really get down low?
Yeah, it's not as low as either an S or a Roadster. It is kind of an SUV. It's an SUV-ish. You're getting in like that, and the nice thing is they've put these. For the Model Y, they added these stands. So this is
like risers.
Another
They're like
4 to
5-6
6 inches.
Yep.
Yeah. So your seating position is actually higher.
Very similar to Model X, I feel like, as far as where you're sitting and how you can see above it's very SUV-ish, definitely.
Yeah, and also I believe the car itself is another couple inches higher than the 3.
Well, Michael, you want to read that other question?
Yeah, I was going to. So David, your question about the valet keys, it's just what we call them was a valet key, but you should be able to lock inside the car into valet mode like you do in your Model 3. That's for David's question. DPT iPad Mini, he's asking about the mobile charge cord that came with the car, the UMC. Did you get the NEMA 1450 adapter, or did it just come with the standard 120 volt?
It comes with the 120 volt. I knew what I had and I actually have that one. I purchased that.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Guys, I picked up a Model 3 at the end of December, and that's when I realized they started kind of like nickel and diming things a little bit. I guess especially with Model 3 and Model Y, since they're not quite as expensive as vehicle. But I think all the vehicles now, you can't. So you have to buy. So be mindful of this. If you're picking up a new Tesla, you need to pay an extra $30, I believe, to get a NEMA 1450 adapter that you can easily get it ahead of time online, or you can pick it up at the service center. I guess once we're post-COVID, if we're allowed to go to the service center to take delivery. But that's one thing I had to do.
Yeah, that was actually the first thing I received was the plug adapter, because I knew I needed it, so I ordered it before the car even came.
Can you show how that adapter thing? Because it doesn't look like there's an adapter there. It's just the plug.
Yeah, here let me see.
Oh yeah, I think he's talking about where actually plugs into the brick, we'll call it there.
Yep.
And go back to your question, Anuarbek. The same thing happened on our 2020 Model X. It did not come with the adapter.
Mm-hmm.
How it pops in and out. So there's that, and it has this bit.
That's what you have to buy. That bit that he's showing right there, that's like $30.
Yes.
But it comes with that exact same connection, but the other end of it, instead of being a 220, it'll be just a regular 110 outlet. That's what comes with the vehicle. So if you want to connect it to a 220, you have to buy that NEMA 1450 extension.
It comes also with the J1772 adapter.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the this little package that it came in, and it's all in there. And then this is the 110 outlet. And then this is
that adapter I actually use quite a bit. That's one that you need whenever you go, if you're traveling around town and you use ChargePoint or any of those other, that's where you need that to convert from like a ChargePoint charger to your Tesla.
Yeah, if
we
you're
had a
Austin
couple
Energy clients, plug-in Austin's a good deal to plug in around town.
Right. If you want to get inside the car now, Aaron, there's two questions for the inside. One's asking, is there a 12-volt power socket inside the center console?
Yes.
For a ham radio.
Yeah, he had to add
for
that
ham
part
radio specifically. Well, I don't know if it's for that, but I actually, if you look up underneath there, maybe here.
I think there's supposed to be one in there. Yeah.
Right there. I actually have one in there.
Okay.
For
the other question we had while you're inside is how the screen browser response time is on the MCU, the center screen.
I find it slow, but I'm a web developer, so
I don't think it's any different than a Model 3. So whatever the latest generation is, that's the best that Tesla's got at this point.
That's as good as it's going to get.
And then Aaron, the next time I see you in person, I'll show you my 2017 Model S, and you'll think that's lightning fast on that.
I've read about slow before, but yeah, it's kind of
MCU1, baby. Yeah.
So I mean, it's responsive. So when you type, it shows up fairly quickly. There's not a lot of delay. You can do a lot of back and forth, and it's fairly quick to respond to that. So.
DPT iPad Mini asked about he talked about the different power plugs, why he thinks they may make that an optional purchase now. It just depends on what type of plug you have. I think yours is about a 30 amp plug there, wasn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, mine's a 30 amp.
Right. So, so not everybody put in a NEMA 1450 outlet. It depends. I think there's something like 15 different types of adapters that'll be all different types of connections you may need.
Well, that's the question I had, Aaron, is that at my house with the Roadster, I can change at what rate I charge with my 220 volt cable. By default, it charges at 30 amps.
Yeah.
But if I put in a 70 amp circuit, then I can charge it at 50 amps. So I can charge faster. Okay. So with the Roadster right now, I'm charging at 30 miles an hour on a 50 amp circuit. But can you do
that was the Gen 1
rate on the Y.
Yeah, and that was the Gen 1 UMC, right? They're no longer shipping the ones that will charge fast, as far as from my understanding. However, if I were to purchase the built-in charger, I could charge faster, and I already have the circuit in place. I ran the right wire. It's just I haven't purchased the external charger yet.
So what's the additional cost for the fast charging module?
$450, I think.
I think the default charger in the car though, Chris, I think is max of, I think it's 48 amps is the max you can go that comes with the car or with the UMC. And then you can adjust in the car anything down from that. Or it'll auto sense your actual outlet, however you have it set at.
Aaron, we had another question regarding your specific car. I'm assuming this is Model Y long range. Ram Kumar asked, rear seat and steering wheel heating is a default in the option that you got. Did you play with the rear heating and steering wheel heating?
No, I haven't even tried to turn heating on. Yeah. I don't know.
From what I understand, there is rear seat, but no heated steering wheel from the videos I've seen so far.
Where would I even find that?
Go to climate.
No.
Or maybe there it is.
Seat heaters. Yeah, we have front and rear
Can you turn
seat.
on the can you turn on the back from there? Oh. Just curious. It looks like you have all the options for the seat heaters. Yeah, okay. Oh, you can turn all three on. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was something the Model 3 did not have at the beginning. It added later.
Yeah.
Well, and I've managed to do an example of the sound of the compressor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Like an alien.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
The other question that we got in discussion is, did you sign up for the subscription, the $10 a month cellular plan that, I don't know what Tesla's calling that now. I don't have that on my Model 3.
Premium connectivity or something like that.
Did you sign up?
They give it to you for free for a year.
A year? Okay, I thought it was 6 months. Good.
Premium connectivity. Thanks, David. We do have an Apple specialist here, by the way, if you guys have any Apple questions for David.
The 32
I think
amp
they said
thing.
a year.
Yeah, thanks to PTI Pad.
I see Ira finally got his video working.
He did?
You can unmute Ira. We can't.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, to the bottom left, hit the unmute button. There you go.
I'll do it.
Now I got it. Can
There
you
you
hear?
go. Welcome. Yeah.
There he is.
Do you have any questions?
Thank you. I've been here a while. Yeah.
Welcome, Ira. Good to see you again.
Well, even long distance, it's fun. I just wish I had my Roadster up here.
We should do that actually. Maybe that'll be another meetup. Ira, if you don't mind volunteering, because you got one of the original Roadsters. We've got some very cool owners in the club that have like even early VIN Roadsters, S's and X's. That would be cool to do. If people are interested, we can set that up. Michael and I can set that up as well. That's not a car you get a lot of exposure to.
I would enjoy driving that thing up here in Colorado. Yeah.
Oh, you left it back in Texas?
Oh, it's in Austin right there, yeah. And I have somebody go by every once in a while and check on it, make sure it's charged up. Okay, but I don't let them drive it.
Do you guys have any other questions about Model Y? Because I did want to spend a few minutes on something else once we're done, kind of. If you guys want to put it in the chat or just go ahead and jump in. I mean, everybody's been super patient and muting and all that, but if you guys want to turn it into more of a discussion, it might be fun.
I don't have any more questions.
Okay. I definitely want to thank Aaron for this, for taking time out of your Tuesday evening to show a bunch of Tesla geeks your car.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Let's spend a couple of minutes if you guys have time. I thought it'd be really cool. I saw a few days ago our friend Jim Fries, who's on the call. He's been developing. You know, they say the best technology is when somebody scratches their own itch. He sent an email just as an FYI for people to go check out his website, Tesla Car Lot. It's kind of like the easiest place for you to list your used Tesla or go look for a used Tesla. I'm actually super happy that he has another solution in this space, because everything that I've seen so far, you guys have probably been in this boat before. you have one, if you want to, Tesla's changed car ownership to almost like owning an iPhone. You know, a lot of people have been, once you become a Tesla owner, you stay a committed owner, but people are rotating through cars because of technology much more often. It seems like every 2-3 years now we're going through cars because you want to go to a new model that Tesla has, or just because of technology requirements. When Tesla switches from autopilot 1.0 to 1.5, 2.0 to 3. Like, it's hard to keep up with at this point. But Jim, maybe you can spend a couple of minutes telling everybody about your website and if you, I've already played with it quite a bit, so I can speak to it if you want to maybe share with everybody so people can see it. And I thought it'd be a cool avenue for the Tesla Owners Club members to take a look at what he's doing and give feedback. Feel free to shoot Jim an email and see if you guys can improve it or spread the word of mouth as well. This is like one of our fellow members that developed this really cool tool that I think will be useful to the community.
Hey, yeah, thanks, Anuarbek. Yeah, so I've had 2 Model X's, and I sold the first one to Tesla, and then I sold my second one private party, and I did quite a bit better on the second sale. So I just thought there was a website I used out there, but I thought I could do a little bit better job and having something a little bit easier to use. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
So yeah, so I can show you some things or whatever. Basically, it's a very simple site. You can find your Tesla or sell your Tesla.
I'm already seeing you established on Elon Musk Day, 4/20/2020.
Yeah. So Elon's personal site that he uses to sell his cars. So we are in beta, and that could be, and who knows how long that's going to last, but it's free. If you want to, if you need to sell a Tesla or know someone who wants to sell a Tesla, that'd be great to refer them here. But basically, you just come in. I'm in the Prosper area, and you can come along and sell your car, list it. We've got various states you can put the car in. You can contact the seller. Of course, it's not going to let me contact the seller here. Until I sign in.
I actually, Jim, I played with it. I listed my car on there. I don't know. It's not really for sale, but I guess if somebody makes an offer, I just wanted to see how quick your tool was. Guys, I was able to go on, if you go back to Tesla Car Lot, once you register and verify your email, I listed my car in under 1 minute. Like, he made this tool so quick and easy. Like, it's incredible how quickly I was able to post it. And I don't know if you guys can see, if you go back to search, Jim, go to search all the cars in your Dallas area.
Yeah, if I go here, let's see here, Dallas, get a couple 100 miles. I've already got a car up here, just a bogus car, but I can publish my car and it shows up. And if I want to come down and change my picture, it'll change the picture. So it's got some pretty cool stuff. You know, I'm gonna list my car. My reference picture is the accessories. What do you think?
Yeah.
No, yeah. So it's been a lot of fun working on this, and we just wanted a way to get a nice site for people to conveniently list their car. One of the things I think we do that's kind of fun is we pull out the VIN information, parse the VIN. You get a lot of details on the VIN.
Hey guys, I'll jump in here. I actually listed my Roadster, I think, Jim, it was yesterday or day before. And similar to Anwar's experience, it was a piece of cake. And what I like best about the site that Jim put together is that it has all of the proper questions and features. For instance, it's a Roadster, so it obviously is not going to have, self-driving. It's a Roadster. It's old. It doesn't have a lot of the features and stuff that the newer cars do.
Have you published that car?
I did. So it's on there. It's in Austin.
That's where I was actually most excited. Jim, when you published this earlier this week, I went on there and I think this is actually a really important solution for the Tesla community, because listing my car, and I've done this, I listed a Tesla on Auto Trader and all these like regular internal combustion cars websites and stuff. They just don't get it. You really, like, marketing wise, it doesn't line up. My favorite thing is where you have it pulled up right there. In one view, I can see that one car has autopilot and another one doesn't. If it's got FSD, if there's a history of damage or warranty. I like how it's all summarized for you, which I didn't get when I saw Auto Trader and all this. I think you're on the right path with what you got going on. It's like a very Tesla design, you know, it's very simple and elegant. So that's where I think a lot of people will start using this hopefully soon, once we spread the word. Maybe the Tesla Owners Club can spread the word to the people that they know that are interested in selling their car. Because right now, there really is not a great solution for this, in my opinion. You guys know about there's a Facebook group that has almost 20,000 members of Tesla. It's like used cars or whatever, Tesla owners. I forget the name of the Facebook group. I'm part of the group. I listed my Model X when I was trying to sell it on that group. I used Auto Trader and all this. I really think it needs to be a Tesla community member that solves the solution, because there are a lot of nuances that are not, like Auto Trader doesn't know, because selling an EV is enough of a difference where you need to build a custom tool, in my opinion.
So when I sold my car privately, you know, I was getting a lot of things back from people when I had offers, and I'm like, man, it's like, I don't really want to get these offers right now. So I've set it up so that if you have a sale pending and you don't want to take any more offers, you can prevent people from talking to you. But if you wanted to accept backup offers, you can. And so, you know, it becomes active. Then people, this is more, of course, my card, I have to log out of log into someone else here, but they could still contact you, and they can only contact you one time. So one of the nice things about this is your privacy remains intact unless you wish to contact the prospective buyer. So if someone wants to contact the seller, their information, which is in the profile, is sent to the seller. So this information that you have control over is sent to the seller. And if you want, if you're a seller and you want to actually respond back to them, all you got to do is respond, you know, to hit reply, go to that email, or text them.
So you just click one button to contact seller, and then that seller will get, like, if you contacted me on if you press contact seller on mine, you just send me an email, Jim?
Say that again.
If I'm interested to buy one of these cars, when I go to that profile, I just hit contact seller and it automatically just sends an email, I'm assuming, to that listing, the person that listed the car?
Yep. So I would go here and I would type in something, or just use this default message, hit send, and you get it as a seller, you get an email. So Chris has kind of been beaten up by some rough edges. He was one of the first people on. Chris, I don't think your car is published yet.
It's not. I just logged in, Jim, and it's giving me an error that says Austin is an unknown location.
So type in the zip code.
What I guess while they're doing that, what do you guys think, the Tesla Owners Club, if you guys have feedback for Jim, since he's this is his pet project?
Oh. Yeah, you might want to put zip code on there, because I just put the city and it didn't tell me I needed a zip code instead.
Yeah, that's the kind of information we really appreciate. That's awesome to know. Like here, if you typed in Austin, it wouldn't work. So it asks for zip code. So 732, then it populates over here that it knows the location. We need to make that more obvious. So if you save it and then you hit the publish, it should show up.
You basically like flip the switch, it seems like. I don't know. Jim, when I did this, I'm telling you, it took me less than a minute.
There it is. Ooh, look at that, man.
That's a steal right there.
Hey, you got to sell it for $54,999.
Very cool.
So Look at that. It comes with the cover.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Nice.
The
That
cover
alone's
and
worth it.
both have their own little travel bag.
Is this
Very
Tesla?
cool.
I didn't realize Tesla had like the shield thing.
Yeah, that's the original.
They don't do that anymore, do they?
No,
No.
they use the T now. If you look at the picture of the front of the car, I don't think I've got a detailed close-up of the front, but the badge on the car actually is the shield that you just saw on the car cover.
And it's carbon fiber interior.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful car.
So you can set your reference picture, Chris?
I did.
Okay, cool. Nice.
And Jim, one more thing. If you could post on there how many pictures you're allowed.
We're still deciding on that. What's your opinion? Should we stop at 10, 20 pictures?
But I think 20 is too many. 10 is probably okay. I don't know how many I got on there now.
I just looked. You have 10 pictures.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, I wish you success because this is one of my favorite things. When I saw your email, I really like jumped in there and started playing around because I think some of the best solution comes from people that scratch their own itch and community members. So I love that you're trying to do this. I think it's something like over the next 6 months to 1 year, especially when this Model Y ramp comes out and Model 3, there'll be a lot of people, I think, trading in used Model 3s for a Model Y. In 12 to 18 months, when Cybertruck comes out, I think you're going to see a mass amount of 3s and Ys on this site, trying to trade up to a model Cybertruck, in my opinion.
I want to see some semis on this site.
Oh, the 18-wheeler? David
That
calls
would be
it.
cool.
David said, indeed, super cool site, Jim. Feels like you're getting ahead of the game. Yeah, I really think in the future, there'll be a lot of need for this tool. So I love that it's coming from a Tesla owner. I think that's super neat.
Well, I'm glad Chris got his car listed. This is awesome.
And I guess we'll start to wrap up. If maybe people can jump on and give us some feedback about this call today. Like we did first half, we did the 80% of it was this Model Y call. What did you guys think about that? Maybe some feedback of things you guys want to see. And then if you guys have feedback about Jim's new tool, you can mention that as well. It'd be cool to hear back from the community. Seems like we have about 14 participants left, but Michael and I can keep arranging these every couple of weeks if you guys want. Just give us some feedback on what you guys want to see.
Anuarbek, probably I can start. This is Ram. Hi, everyone. So maybe next call, few of us are very well known to Model Y or what we are launching, and few of us are still stuck with either Model 3 or Model X or Model anything prior, correct? So 1 or 2 minutes you can give a quick overview of what is there in Model Y, a kind of a comparison between previous and this, so that everybody can come up to speed, and all questions on the chat probably we can address in the first few minutes. So that's one. And congratulations, Jim, first. I think it's a great tool. I see it pretty simple and cool. As a buyer, probably I want to see if the listing price is 10% less than the specific market price. I think as a Tesla community, we are very well positioned to judge what is the right price. I'm sure within your database, you will be able to even compare based on the features, is it the right price or not. I don't think any other site is offering it, but if you're able to nail it, I think a lot more buyers will be coming and looking at your site.
Yeah, we're working on a Bayesian algorithm once we get some data to help give a good suggestion to people.
Thank you.
That's a great idea, Ram. I like how there's a website that I've used several years ago called truecar.com that tells you, like, is this a good price, excellent price, or not a very good price? Maybe something along those lines even.
Yeah. Thank you.
All bets are off, though, when the car's been modified. So you really don't know.
And Ram, were you volunteering to do the next presentation and explain to us the difference between X, S, and 3 and Y? The sexy lineup, I guess?
I did own all the three, but I had sold three within maybe a month. I liked X, and I'm now enjoying yes. So I was thinking, should I switch to Y? But me and Mike were chatting offline. I think I'll save some money with yes itself, and if I get a good trade-in or any good private party sale, I want to move on to Y. Yeah. But the build quality so far has been great from Tesla. So
I've driven all. I drove my first car was an S 5-6 years ago. I'd had that for a couple of years. Then I switched to an X. Then I recently got into a Model 3, and I got stuck at sex. I need a Y to complete my. You guys do know, like, I don't know if this was actually planned by Elon, but the grand scheme spells out sexy cars. So it's S, the 3 or the E, and the X and the Y. That's sexy. And then cars is Cybertruck, ATV, Roadster, and Semi.
it's nice.
It seems like Elon is a geek enough person that actually planned this probably 10 years ago for it to spell out all this. I really think that's why ATV exists, is only for the sole purpose to spell that out. Like, I've interacted with these guys enough to know they're that geeky. I really think they played a long joke, a decade-long joke to spell that out.
Hey, if I can interject a non sequitur here, I've got a Peter Lick painting or photo of me of the moon of a eclipse, and it's leaking through on my artificial background, and I'm like, it's actually pretty good.
It looks like it blends in pretty well. Anybody else have any comments? Ira, you want to jump in?
I don't have anything to say. So I really do appreciate this because it really is a community builder for me.
And Jim, Arlene was requesting if you can maybe just shoot out another email or something like that with some, maybe make a video or something. We can do something else, but maybe you can on the chat share that website, your web link, so people here can write it down and they can go play with it later on. And if you want, put your email on there as well. If people have feedback, I think that'd be something nice early on to get some feedback from, because people that are on this call are like definitely Tesla geeks, people that are super involved, that have been involved with Tesla for years and years. So I think you'll get very good feedback from them. I would use that opportunity at this point.
Certainly. Thank you.
I guess one last thing I can bring up. So, you know that the Tesla owners, Central Texas has been kind of split into two now. So we have Tesla owners, Austin, which is Matt and Anuarbek. And then I'm taking over the Tesla owners San Antonio club. With that, I'm working on one right now, the Austin club's website. We want to make that the primary method into the club, we'll call it. So those of you that sent Matt an email with your VIN, thank you. You'll be getting emailed sooner, so we make sure the website's working. And then you guys can sign up on the website. And we're looking also there's going to be a specific Facebook group and a specific Google group for each of the clubs. The one you're on right now is still going to work. It's going to be more of a generic. That's pretty much anybody in the area that wants to be part of it, they can. There's items that Matt, Anuarbek, and I are not allowed to share with people who are not in a official club. So that's the kind of stuff that'll be shared specifically to people who are registered for the website. It's not going to ask for your VIN. It's going to ask for your referral code. So don't worry about giving that out. Just want to give you a heads up. I'll be emailing everybody very soon who sent your email to Matt. He forwarded them to me, so I know who you are if you're on this call. And I'll let you guys know when the site's ready for you guys to actually log in and create your account on there.
And again, to reiterate, when Ira and these guys, Matt, 7-8 years ago, you guys all got together and started the original Central Texas Club. This was early days of Tesla #1, and I don't think there are a whole lot of owners. That's why it was kind of it lumped two major cities together, Austin and San Antonio. But now we've grown over the past 7-8 years. So we thought it'd be a good time to kind of, not that the clubs are going to be separate. I still think there's a lot of, I know Michael goes to both Austin and San Antonio events. I try to go sometimes. It's not, San Antonio is not more than an hour drive. So if it's a cool event over a weekend, like I still see both clubs interacting quite a bit, but it would be better to focus so that way we can do more and more events. I mean, it's to make both clubs better. And the other thing is when I kept asking people what is Central Texas, no one can answer the question. So I'm like, why don't we just call it two different? But I think at the time it was just like a decision to make the clubs together. Just there wasn't a whole lot of Tesla owners at the time, so just for camaraderie and building these things, we combined two big cities. But I think from what Michael is planning, it's gonna, not that we're sharing websites, but it's gonna be the same kind of website as well, right? Like there'll be a link to both of them. So I still see a lot of like, they're gonna be sister clubs, brother clubs, like very close, but just named after each city. And like, I think it'll be cool to try this.
Hey, Michael, do you know, does your referral code change?
No.
Because if you're in between Teslas, you still have a referral code?
From what I understand, you do. I
Yeah,
haven't heard that.
yeah, I believe it.
Because I think I've been given 2 referral codes. I think I got a different referral code when I bought my second car.
It can happen by accident. That happened to me because I've got several emails. So I was logged in under my work email, so it created a second account whenever I reserved it. So that could have been something that happens. But Jim, if you reserve the car with the same email that's connected to your original referral code, and you order another car.
So yeah, the very first time I bought it, the dealer did it for me. So
that's why.
Not the dealer, but the sales guy.
Yeah. But that's why.
Okay.
Because our Model 3 we bought under my wife's name, so we have a completely different login, all that kind of stuff, which is nice too. Ira, I've got 2 roadsters coming, so you and I need to race. But mine are the next gen roadsters. It's on my they already put it on my profile. So
I have a short story about San Antonio and Austin.
Okay.
Growing up, South Austin, where I was from, of course, always got the short end of the stick, and we were always put down by everybody north of the river. And I used to complain about that as a child. And so when I came home from school one day, my mother said, "Look, Ira, just tell them you're from North San Antonio." Because in reality, we knew back there in the 60s that San Antonio and Austin would become one, as it actually is doing. But yeah, we got kind of big, and I think it's probably a good idea to break into. But I don't want to lose touch. I mean, that's the goal.
Definitely.
Stay in touch.
Definitely.
The other observation, because of how old the organization was, when Diane was on a while back on some emails, I just wanted to share with everybody that one time at one of our early meetings out in Fredericksburg, at one of their environmental get-togethers out there, she created a poster with PEC, and I still have that. We should have a collection, but she created a poster that said, Tesla electrifies the hill country. And so anyway, those stories are fun to recollect and share with people. So thank you all.
Very cool. Michael, any parting words?
Thank you for showing up. Those you did. We're numbers are falling fast here. We're down to 9. We're up to like 24 at one time. So
we had almost 30 at one point. I think we should keep doing this though. Like if you guys like it, we'll keep putting these together every couple of weeks. It's a good way to, like Ira was saying, to keep the community kind of going, and in this rough time, keep that connection going. We all share the same passion. So and Michael, thanks for setting everything up.
Yep. Well, thanks everybody for showing up. For anybody who has not, Matt and I had emailed out, or Matt did, an email to let people know about the club splitting. We needed 25 VINs for each city. That's just a Tesla requirement to get the clubs started officially. So even though we already had one, we still had to go through the initial process again. So basically, I put my email address in the chat window there. If you were not on that initial list to send to Matt and I, but you still want to be under a particular city, shoot me an email at that email address, michael@teslaownerstexas.com, and then just let me know which city you want to be on. So my plan is to email you guys as soon as the sites are ready to go. You'll be the first ones to be able to go and register on those. So
very cool.
Like
thanks, man.
Your insider view here, since you're still here at the end.
Thanks, everybody.